Hello and good evening. Welcome back to the Competitive Speed Series. My name is Frostbeth and I will be your commentator for tonight. This is the moment we have reached the halfway point, or we're actually going past the halfway point in this second season in Competitive Speed Series. We are heading to my home place, the Netherlands, at Zandvoort. It is November 25th and it is round 6 of season 2. It's quite exciting here at PC Tier 1, especially at the top of the board. Just look at these standings as they are at the moment. GRS is still leading, as they said themselves. How are we still leading? Well, I think it's safe to say it's because of consistency. They've been very consistent. Their drivers have been regulars in the top 10 and maybe even the top 5 for many races in a row now. They've both been there, so the consistency, it's what's caused them to be still at the top of the board. W are in second place, just 5 points behind. We saw them having a not so great race last week round. Could have been better when they were driving around in Monza, but those things happen. Then OP in a third place, 5 points behind WOR. That is how close it is. They had a driver coming in second place last week with Louis Valentin. He'll be joining again this week alongside Daniel Gottschalk in the second AlphaTauri. Then in fourth place it is Team NLR with 145, which is only 9 points behind OP. They are still doing quite well despite their less than ideal race last week round. It could have been worse still though. They're still quite close to the lead. It's only 19 points behind the championship leader GRS. And then of course there's also ABS, now having won 2 races in a row. They keep climbing the standings. They're now hanging around in 5th place, but they are edging closer to the top of the board. They are only 43 points behind. It sounds like a lot, but since first place already grants you 35 points, you can easily close the gap even in one race if the leaders are having a bad day. So for now they're sitting in 5th place. Let's see if they can win another race. Tony Richer in their name has won the 2 races, Monza and France last time round, and he's back alongside Justin Chevalier in the second Ferrari. 20 drivers in as we speak, so the lobby should be starting any time soon. Quick look at the rest of the standings. FFC is hanging around in 6th place. They They're not doing too bad. 99 points at the moment. Yes, in 7th with 88. ERT in P8. Spark in 9th place. And ETE still at the bottom of the table in 10th position. Let's see if they can bring something back, claw something back, hopefully, in this race. Both Red Bulls eye a bit of a revenge moment here in Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Speaking of Dutch people, I'm not the only Dutch person here tonight. We also have Raymond de Niet for the NLR team alongside Ivan Santamaria. For GRS, once again, we have Krethailem for Williams and Luke Mills alongside them. So good on them. For WOR, we have 2 names we don't see that often for the team. Normally you would see Janesh Dovjan and Ilias Psaros. This time though it's Justin Arts with Unai Bega for the WOR team in the orange McLaren cars. Jess is driving around with Marcel Papst and Thomas Vink. Another Dutch, I believe, there, as the last name sounds very Dutch. Could also be Flemish though. For Team ERT, George Shockley once again alongside Nathan Samba in the Alfa Romeo cars. Spark having Magic and Alex Fair once more. They both DNF'd last week in Monza. Magic got crashed out. It was deemed as a racing incident from the top of my head. Alex Fair crashed into his teammate due to that accident, and they were both out of the race. So that was a load of bad luck there. OP then, as I said, Daniel Gottschalk and Louis Valentin. Let's see, who are we missing? We're still missing FFC with Jorge Suarez and Victor Santana in the Mercedes cars. ETE is having Istvan Tamashi alongside Roman Deshmay driving around. And let's see who is still left. I think that settles every team. ABS, of course, Tony Richer, Justin Chevalier, NLR, Ivan Santamaria, Raymond de Niet. And that should all settle the matter then. And we're good to go. They are readying up. And it's going to be exciting. Apparently there's also esports tonight, which might explain the low viewer count as we speak. Still though, looking forward what will happen here in the Netherlands. Do not forget, Dutch weather can be very unpredictable, as you may have seen in the real life race here this year round, especially when the rain just decided to come hampering in a big time. And to be fair, here in real life over the past few weeks, it's been absolute rain overloads, to be honest. So who knows what the game will decide to do tonight. We always like ourselves a little bit of rain, don't we? Let's head on and see how everything is when we are heading to the track. Let's see here then. There we are, the drivers. We're just waiting for 2 drivers to ready up and they'll be heading to the track for a short qualifying session of 18 minutes, followed by 36 laps of racing, since here in the Netherlands you will have 72 laps when you do 100% of the race. So let's see who will be claiming pole position, who will be the race winner. If you're in the chat and if you can type, let me know your predictions in there. Off we go. Welcome to Zandvoort, located in the Dune Hills alongside the North Sea. A picturesque little town and a very famous racetrack. Of course, we've only returned here since 2021. Should have been there in 2020, but due to circumstances we all are very familiar with, it was not possible to hold the race in that year. Track map over there. You will hear me pronouncing all the corner names in a very Dutch way. For example, turn 1, the Tarzan corner is officially known as the Tarzan bocht I should say. Followed by turn 2, the Gerlach bocht. Turn 3, Hugenholz bocht. And yes, the G is guttural. Anyway, Daniel Gottschalk, the first driver out on track, a feisty driver as we've come to know him, as he does go through Hugenholz. Let's see where he can put his car. We've seen him being quite quick. The second OP car is out on track as well, as we see one of the Ferraris leaving the pit lane. Let's see if ABS can pull out another mega qualifying and a potential 3rd race win in a row. They would be the first this season to pull that off here for CSS. So the stakes are quite high for them. It would be beneficial too, as they would close the gap to the top of the board even more. Closing in quite dramatically after a pretty dismal start to the season. And as you can see in the chat, Justin does have a qualifying ban. So all eyes then once again are on Tony Richet, who is, as we speak, on track over here, just ahead of one of the Aston Martins. I believe that is the Aston Martin of Thomas. Yes, Thomas Vink, right behind. Back to Daniel though, as he goes through the final corner, the Arie Luijendijk bocht. Onto the main straight, DRS wide open, and let's see where he can put his car. A 1 minute 10 should be possible, I think, knowing my own lap times. 1 minute 9 maybe even, depending on who's driving tonight. Let's see though. Car number 26, Daniel Gottschalk. Through turn 3. Nice and easy does it at the inside of the corner. Making sure to take the apex as close as possible. This is a banker lap, of course, I shouldn't forget that. First sector, 23.866. Not too shabby. Through the dunes then, and onwards to turn 8, which is actually called the Masters bocht. I actually didn't know that myself. And then turn 9, which is literally called bocht 9. And then turn 10, which is called bocht 10. Which literally translated means turn 9 and turn 10. So apart from those two corners, every corner has got a name. They're not turn 9 and 10 though, they're just unceremoniously called turn 9 and turn 10. So who knows, one of them might become the Verstappen bocht. You never know. Let's see though, we have some yellow flags. One of the Red Bulls going very slow to let somebody past. As across the line comes Daniel Gottschalk, first time of the night, 1 minute 8.4. Wildly underestimated the lap time of tonight, it seems. Let's see who's going to be the next to cross the line. No, that is one of the Spark cars there. Crossing the line to start the hot lap, but Louis Valentine goes even faster than that, 1 minute 8.1. That is nearly 3/10 quicker than his teammate, and for now the team of OP occupies the front row. And they can use that quite handily, as that will mean they will close the gap to the top of the board even more. They are not far behind in the standings. They are third from the top of my head, only 10 points behind GRS. There we go, Tony Richet, not surprising there, fastest of the lot, but only by 3 milliseconds. Thomas Vink comes in at 1 minute 9.7. As both FFC cars start their hot lap, we have Raymond de Niet, one of the other two Dutchmen, coming in at sixth place now, as Luke Mills goes 5th fastest, Justin Aerts in 7th. Who else is on his way? Let's see, Marcel Paps, the second GS driver. We don't see these two names too often for the Aston Martin team. So let's see where Marcel can put his car on the main straight across the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 8.4. Just ahead of Jorge Suarez, who had received a nice tow on the main straight from his teammate Victor Santana, who is currently on his way. Once again, Team FFC making the most of teamwork. Of course, Friends is in their team name, so it's not entirely surprising. Magic in 11th place, a 10.4. He's got to find a load of time. It's more than 2 seconds slower than provisional pole. Spark really struggling for pace in qualifying, as we've seen over the past few weeks. Across the line comes Victor Santana, 1 minute 8.6, P9 for now, as the game has decided that tonight is a great moment to go with some leg spikes here and there. Justin Aerts, currently 8th fastest. His teammate Unai Vega has just started his hot lap. Let's see how he's doing at the moment as he comes through turn 1. Onwards to Gerlach and Hugenholz, while the Alfa Romeo is moving out of the way. That, I believe, was Nathan Samba. George Chowkley already at lap time, a 1 minute 8.7, just ahead of Istvan Tamashi, who is in 11th with a 1 minute 8.8. Also shouldn't forget Ivan Santamaria, a very quick qualifying driver as well. I think I just saw a purple middle sector, although that doesn't really say a lot. PS for the console series about had a 7.8 as provision as pole position. They're not too far off that any longer, as Ivan Santamaria goes 3rd fastest by a 1 minute 8.373, just marginally faster than Marcellus, who has been pushed down to 4th. Unai Vega about to finish his lap through the Kumo-bocht and then through Arie Luijendijk. Onto the main straight, across the line. It is a 1 minute 9.1. A little bit on the back foot there, 1 millisecond slower than Alex Fair. The second Spark car hanging around in 13th at the moment, leaving 4 drivers without a lap time. One of them has a qualifying ban, the other 3 still have to set one. Nathan Samba is one of them. He's currently occupying the last position, but he hasn't got a lap time, so that should be fine in about a minute or so. And I feel like the pole position time of the PS division is going to be beaten. Look at this, 23.9, purple first sector. Nathan going quite well there, doing a lot for the ERT team. Let's see what he can do through the middle sector. Through turn 10, which again has got literally no name. Middle sector then is a 47.469, looking quite decent there. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes somewhere well in the top 10 and potentially in the top 5. Of course, the top 2 is currently quite in their own league. Whoa, going too wide there actually, but the game has decided that is totally fine. Is it going to be a 1 minute 8 though? It is only a 1 minute 8.8. He's behind his teammate in P12. There's some time to be found then over there. Ruthylum on their way in the middle sector at the moment, 48.1. The teammate Luke Mills currently in P7. Let's see where the second Williams is going to be. Of course, GRS still leading the championship. The drivers themselves are surprised by it. But as I said before, consistency is key. And GRS is living proof of that. But for now though, P16. We know that the GRS drivers, as they admitted themselves, aren't great qualifiers. As Daniel Gottschalk, look at that! Sets a new fastest lap at a 1 minute 8.0. Quite impressive there. Meanwhile, we can wonder if whether or not Thomas can find some time. 12 milliseconds faster through the first sector. That means he'll have to find a lot of time through the middle one. Let's see what that is. About a tenth quicker. It's not going to be enough, I'm afraid. He's still quite far behind Kruthylem. Loads of time to be found. It's not going to improve his position and potentially is a better time on the board. Unless he somehow can find 0.7 of a second here. Which does happen. Look at that! 1.2 seconds quicker, so he must have lost a load of time then in the final sector. Probably made a mistake. And now he's 9th fastest. That is a huge jump. And that's good news for GS. Let's see, I believe Ivan Santamaria is about to start his hot lap. There he is. He's got to find about 0.4 of a second if he wants to go in 1 minute 7 and beat Daniel Gottschalk to provisional pole position. I had a bit of a slide there entering turn 3. He's looking fine. Some traffic to negotiate. Mr. Haas moves his way through the first sector 19 milliseconds slower than his previous attempt. Not the best of starts then. Oh, dearie me, went way too wide there through turn 7. And then lost the car before turn 8 happened. And that is Ivan's lap time down the drain. Justin Arts at the moment also on his way. Never mind, he's actually just improved. As you can see, up to 5th place. His teammate, let's see, Unai Bega, just overtaken Justin there. First sector, 25 milliseconds slower. Let's see if Unai can live up to the high standards that the other WLR drivers have put here in this championship. They are 2nd. They would like to overtake GRS at long last for 1st. Somehow that first position is still eluding them. Like, look at that, 0.2 of an improvement. It should be potentially good enough for somewhere near the top 10, potentially P12 for Unai Bega on the boards, depending on how much time he can find here through the final corner. Main straight, DRS already open, of course, officially. It should be right over there as the main straight starts. And yeah, it's not better for Unai Bega, 16th fastest. For some reason the game likes to lag when drivers come across the line. It's kind of annoying. Let's see who else is on their way. Jorge Suarez, 77 milliseconds quicker at the moment. As Louis Valentin, look at that, once again OP on top of the board. Luke Mills has improved. The man who says qualifying isn't a thing is now in 3rd position. As his teammate is hanging around in 14th. Now that is quite the difference. Nearly 0.9 of a second in between them. Quite impressive. Tony Richet in 4th place right now. Jorge Suarez has improved to P5. And let's see how the NLR drivers are doing. Raymond has improved to 6th place at the moment. Such a shame the game doesn't show when somebody's going on an in-lap. It's always quite confusing. Nathan Samba, though, on his way. Was that a potential blocking from the Red Bull there, though? Not sure if that hampered his lap time or not. We'll see through the middle sector. Only 19 milliseconds slower, so I don't think it's destroyed his lap too much. Let's see what he can find through the final sector. Right now, ERT only 12th and 13th fastest. Nathan just barely ahead of Kruthylem. Just decide to go across the line. Is it improvement? Yes, and by quite a lot. The final sector is where most of the drivers find a load of time, and now Nathan is suddenly ahead of both NLR drivers in P6. That is nice. The OP drivers returning to the pit lane. Daniel Gottschalk for some reason. Oh, he's actually on the lap time. There you go. 4.5 minutes remaining, and Daniel is the first to go into the 1 minute 7s. Once again, OP turning out to be great qualifiers. They're beating ABS to it tonight. Tony Richet back in the pit lane, currently sitting in 4th, which is of course not too bad, and in terms of lap time, not too far behind OP. But it's still not pole position. Of course, Justin Chevalier having a qualifying ban, meaning that Tony is quite vulnerable. Time is starting to run out. We're watching one of the Spark cars, Magic, just behind his teammate once again. Spark only 17th and 18th fastest. Only Roman Dishmay in terms of lap time is behind them. A 1 minute 9.168, which is just barely slower than Magic is at the moment. So let's see if they can find what this man has got in his name. And that is, of course, Magic. Here we go. One final attempt. I hope for his sake that the traffic out of the pit lane will wait a little bit. We see one of the McLarens there leaving the garage. Not sure who that is. We'll find out in a few seconds. As he goes through turn 1, overtaking the McLaren right there. It is Unai Bega. A WR car in 16th place is not something we're used to. Unai Bega needs to find a lot of time. He's about a second slower than provisional pole. Let's see if he can find that much. Ivan Santamaria just ahead and overtaken by Magic. Done sector 1, let's see how he does in sector 2. Hello Lucas, welcome to the stream, good to see you there. Make sure you cheer on your team, of course. Middle sector then. Yellow flag for slow cars through sector 1, 1/10 quicker. It's not good enough. It needs to find a load through the final sector, but we've seen several teams, several drivers improving by a lot in the final sector. Maybe Magic can do the same. Istvan is retired from the session in the pit lane. Not sure why, but look at that. Once again, the final sector working wonders, and now Magic is in 11th. Which is quite decent compared to their recent qualifying performances. Ivan has now started his final attempt as time is really starting to run out. It's quite busy. Both Williams cars are slowed down to a crawl to let literally everybody past. Roman Dishmay is letting both Mercedes cars pass as well, as you can see on the minimap. I think Unai Bega, no, Justin Arts has actually just started his hot lap. He's overtaken Unai, even though he came out of the pit lane much later than his teammate. Ivan, pretty quick in qualifying. Let's see if he can improve. He's currently only 8th. I think he would like to see some better. Istvan crash. No, he retired in the pit lane, I believe. Almost 2/10 quicker. It's not looking too bad. Where can he go? Is it going to be anywhere near provisional pole? Is it going to be enough? That's the question. He might potentially get a slight tow here from the ERT car ahead, as he's about to start his hot lap and Ivan is about to finish it. Where is he going to be? A 1 minute 8.0. It's not enough. It's going to be P3 at best. Now let's follow the rest. Luke Mills on his way, 23 milliseconds quicker through the first sector. Will there be a pole position for GRS? He's very close behind the Red Bull, who's on a hot lap as well. And Roman Dishmay, well, I'm not sure if he's quicker than Luke Mills at the moment, but looks like Luke Mills is closing in quickly. This might potentially hamper his lap time. He's not had a big gap between himself and the Red Bull. That might hurt his lap. He's still 4th fastest. He'll get a tow here. Victor Santana improved to 4th. Can Luke Mills improve? No, he can't. Nor can Roman. Actually gone to 18th, to be fair. Thylum up to 11th, but let's watch both OP cars. 13 milliseconds faster Daniel is. Can they beat the PS F1 time? Across the line, a 1 minute 7.836. Fastest overall, but can Louis go even quicker? No, he can't! He misses out by half a tenth of a second to pole position. Tony Richet goes into 1 minute 7s as well. 3rd fastest now. Is anybody else on his way? Justin Arts has already finished his lap. 7th fastest only. Raymond is about to cross the line. No, he's heading back in the pit lane there. 10th fastest, and it looks like OP have a lockout. The first team from the top of my head to do so this season. OP in P1 and P2, since nobody else is improving anymore. They are now the team to beat. That is extraordinary. Looks like they've got a seriously good team of drivers ready. Delivering whenever possible. Daniel Gottschalk on pole position, Louis Valentine in second. For their sake, they shouldn't fight in turn 1. Instead, defend massively from Tony Richet, who's already won 2 races in a row. And he'll be starting from third. This is looking to be an interesting race, to say the least. Zandvoort, of course, is a safety car. Happy track, to be fair. Let's see how the results turn out to be. NLR, the best car in 4th. Victor Santana in P5. He'll be very satisfied with that one. FFC need the points. Luke Mills in P6. I think he'll be reasonably satisfied, although I probably would have hoped for more. Justin Arts in 7th. Jorge Suarez in P8, Nathan Samba in P9, Raymond de Niet in P10. Then Kretylum, P11, Marcel Pabst in P12, just ahead of his teammate Thomas Vink in 13th, Magic in P14, George Chalkley P15, Unai Bega only 16th, Istvan Tamashi P17, just ahead of his teammate EETE on the back foot there, Alex Fair in 19th, and Justin will be starting from the back, having now served his qualifying ban. So then, let's head to the race and let's see what will happen. It's quite cloudy, as it should be here in the Netherlands. And now we're waiting for the big moment. The race starts. Remember, no formation lap, 36 laps of racing coming up. Let's see if Team OP can defend their 1-2 and potentially turn it into a 1-2 victory. If they do that, then you can be certain that they will be in first place in the championship, because that will be so much points for them, and third place already be quite a substantial amount of points less than first. I do not know the points from the top of my head. I probably should start to learn them by heart. But yeah, 35 points for first place alone is a load. Let's see what will happen. No countdown, as you can see, so we'll have to wait for the moment that the race actually starts. And then we'll find out who will come out victorious. Can OP capitalize on their 1-2 in qualifying to get an excellent race result and claim the championship lead? We're about to find out as the lights go on. 3, 4 and 5 red lights, and they go off right now, and the race is officially gone underway. Louis Valentine, Daniel Gottschalk got off to a great start there. Tony Richet is trying to attack them in turn 1, especially the second OP driver, Louis Valentine, as Tony Richet goes to the inside. Not successful though. Victor Santana and me will try to go for Ivan Santamaria. We have a yellow flag. It's Unai Bega and Istvan Tamashi who potentially have come together, and they are now in the back of the field. Bad news for WOR, who would have hoped likely to claim first position. They've only got one car in the points left right now, and that is Justin Arts in 7th. Seems like Luke Mills is under threat from one of those WOR cars. Let's see about the tires. Loads of drivers started on the hards. We have another yellow flag. It's once again one of these Spark cars gone into the gravel. That is Magic, who's gone off. Not entirely sure what happened there. But several points in this race already where there has been some drama. We now have the top 8 starting to create a little bit of a gap to Raymond de Niet, who is in 9th place at the moment. Justin Chevalier already up to 14th place after starting last. We have one driver started on the softs, that's Roman Deschmay, and he's done quite well to go all the way up to 13th place. And look at this, Tony Richet is going, I thought he was going for a move, but he's too far back to actually go for it. And Ivan Santamaria is keeping on him. Looks like though Victor Santana is quite feisty there. He might have a go in turn 3. No, it's actually nearly Luke Mills who went for the move there. He's still somewhat on the inside-ish with his front wing, or at least the very tip of it. They're letting Victor know that he's ready to make the move. This is good news for the GRS team. Kretylum is already back in 11th. Not doing too bad there either. This is promising to be an interesting race. Let's see if the rain is going to play any role. The sky looks quite threatening, to be fair. So I wonder if it is going to play any factor. Nathan Samba, we saw on the timing board there, was quite close to Justin Arts. He's definitely keeping on to the WOR car there. 2 laps done by now. OP is still leading safe and sound, but they've got to watch out. We do know Tony Richet is pretty quick. Who knows what his race pace will be later down the line. Louis Valentin now with the quickest lap of the race. I wonder if they're going to trade places if it turns out that Louis is quicker than Daniel. It's going to be vital that they don't fight. As Roman Dishmay goes for a move successfully on Thomas Vink. Now up into 12th place. Doing quite well there as Unai Bega goes to the pit lane. Granting himself a 5-second penalty. Not looking good there for the second WOR driver. Also looks like the top 3 is starting to pull away a little bit from Ivan Santamaria, hanging around in 4th place with Victor, Luke and Justin. And of course the other drivers behind as well. Roman Dishmay has now got a bit of a gap to the next car ahead. Unai Bega now down to last place as he's switched to hard tires. Istvan Tamashi now on the mediums. Timing is giving Victor Santana's minus 1.3 seconds. That was probably due to that annoying lag spike. I really hope they improve the performance of the next game. Look at this. Ivan is struggling to keep up. He's got DRS to save him a little bit. Daniel Gottschalk now with the new fastest lap of the race. It's a long DRS train. If you watch this screen here, all the way down to P17 are within 1 second of one another. Though overtaking, already being difficult on Zandvoort, is going to be near impossible now. But we'll see. Maybe somebody can force another driver into a mistake. We already saw one of the Spark cars going wide on the gravel, of course, a few laps ago. Some drama with Istvan and Unai now in the back of the field. We see Jorge Suarez having lost contact to the group as well. Something must have happened to the Mercedes then, at some point in this race. Louis Valentin giving chase to his teammates. Of course, there is still an individual driver's prize to be won, but I think the team is more important than the individual driver for everybody here on the field right now. Half a second in between the two. Tony Richet is starting to close the gap though to Louis Valentin. Only 3/10 in between them. He's moving out of the slipstream. He's not going for the move yet then. And now Nathan Samba goes for the fastest lap. He's starting to turn up another gear. A little bit of a look at Justin Arts' WR car. Not gone for the move yet though. Whoa, that was very strange. That was a big lag spike, it seems. I thought for a moment he lost control of the car. It looks like from his end, he's got a lag spike. And now he's lost 2 positions. That's bad news. Very bad news for Nathan Samba. He's inside of Marcel Paap's car, literally. Thankfully, both of them are ghosted. Otherwise, that might have turned out disastrous. He would like to get back ahead, though. And looks like he is successfully doing so. But he's lost a position to Raymond. That's not something he would have wanted. And he's massively under threat from Marcel right now. Marcel, is he going to go for a move? No, from the top view, he's just a bit too far away. But it looks like Nathan has been shaken by that moment there. And his pace is suddenly a little bit less than optimal. Making a tiny bit of a mistake through corners here and there. And they know it. The other drivers trying to attack him, that is. Magic now with the fastest lap of the race. Interesting. 1 minute 11.5. Magic at the moment, the last driver in the points in 15th position. His teammate right behind. Lap 6 will allow us to look a bit at the position changes. Not too many changes at the moment. It is Roman Dishmay who's made up the most position. He's currently hanging around in 11th, making the most of those soft tires. So hats off to him. But I'm afraid that his pace will drop off quite soon as we are reaching the point that those soft tires will become less than optimal. And Thylum is knocking on his door already. Justin Chevalier, also starting from pretty much the back of the field, has made up 6 positions. That is second best since race start. Not much more than that though. He's got both Spark cars behind, and it looks like a Magic is actually getting quite close there. Is he gonna go for a move? That would be something. There he goes. He actually is gonna go for it. It is Magic going side by side and well ahead of Justin Chevalier. And in a brilliant turn of events, it is now Magic who is on the up. Back in the position he started in. His qualifying wasn't too bad either. So he's got something to prove since last week. As to be fair, both Spark cars have been done dirty by a racing incident. Not much they could do about. No punishments handed out. Thomas Vink in the meanwhile, right behind Thylum, looking for a perfect moment to strike. He's very, very close. Look at this. I think Thomas might go for a move one way or another very soon. Maybe on the main straight, maybe even here. Overtaking at the Hans Ernstboch, which is turn 11, is a difficult task, and he decides to wisely stay behind for the time being. Roman Deschmay is now outside of DRS of P10, and that means he's vulnerable now. Look at this! Whoa, the grip levels are suddenly huge. Roman Deschmay's got a terrible exit, it appears, and he might not lose 1 but 2 positions. He's defending though, and oh dearie me, that is Justin Aerts. What is he doing there? He's had a massive moment in turn 1. He was on the curbs and not entirely sure what happened. And now WR is in a huge load of trouble. 15th and last. Their championship hopes in danger. We're past the halfway point of the season. There's still many points to be gained, of course, but still. This is big. Big bad news for the team. The McLaren cars, 15th and last. Good news, of course, for GRS. Even better news for OP. Justin Chevalier, once again knocking on the door. That is George Charkley. Whoop, spun out. There it appears. Lost control of the car. Now down to 18th position. Things are starting to happen for sure. The top 9 is still very stable, but behind them, there's many things going on at the same time. Magic is trying to move forwards. I do apologize about the leg spikes. Nothing I can do about them, unfortunately. It's sometimes where the game is having a bad day that these things happen. Look at this. Roman Deschmay has lost his pace completely. The soft tires are dead, pretty much. Not surprising, of course, considering they're already 8 laps old, which is quite old for soft tires, especially compared to those hards, which are still in pretty much prime condition. He's done his best to make up as many positions as possible. But now he's starting to pay the price for starting on the softs. So the question is, when will he come in? Oh, nearly spinning out there. Pole was a 1 minute 7.83 something from the top of my head, Koen. 836, thank you. Nearly remembered it perfectly there. Roman Deschmay saved by DRS at the moment. Thomas Vink on the attack to Thylum as well, but it looks like Magic is the one on the actual offense there as he goes in turn 1. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he can. Those soft tires are nowhere. And back down to 13th he goes, and the next driver to knock on his door is Justin Chevalier, who's still trying to make his way upwards. ABS, of course, needing some good results as well to make sure they can keep closing the gap to the top. Right now, GRS is in a better state than they are, in 6th and 10th place. But Thylum is having trouble keeping Thomas behind, especially you can see his lights flashing. They've got no DRS either, and that means Thomas's attack can be absolute. Oh, but he shouldn't lose the car though. That's not the most ideal way to attack a car ahead. Arthelum saw it and they know it. Thomas is feisty, but a bit too much on the throttle there. Nearly lost the car. And that means Magic is now closer to him. Marcel Pabst, Nathan Samba. Looks like Nathan's got a terrible, terrible exit. I don't see much happening there in terms of other things. Look at this. Thomas Fink now ahead. And looks like Magic has decided to weave his way through as well. With Thailand now lost 2 positions. You should be careful of Romain Deschmay, who despite his old softs still wants to attack whenever he can. Tony Richet closing the gap now to the top 2. He is alone in it though. He knows that OP will do anything to defend those 2 positions. So Daniel will need the help of Louis. They've swapped positions. Louis is now the race leader. Daniel's now in 2nd place. It seems like Louis got the upper hand in terms of pace. But I think he's slowing down a little bit to make sure Daniel stays with him. Because Daniel needs the DRS to make sure Tony stays behind. Another lap done as we head into lap 12 out of 36. And Daniel, as you can see, is staying behind. Nice and easy. Ivan is braking really late. A little bit of a look. And Magic is on a roll. There he goes, into the top 10. This is vengeance for last week, I'm certain. And he'll be happy to see this form of pace from himself. His teammate Alex, currently in P16, and no points for him. But this is important for the Spark team. 1.7 seconds to the next car, which is Nathan in P9. And I believe Magic still's got the fastest lap in his hands. Let's see if we can find that out. There we go, yep, 1 minute 11.5. Everybody's in the 1 minute 11s, pretty much. They're all very close together in terms of lap time. Only Unai Bega is not in the 1 minute 11s. In fact, he's quite substantially slower than the rest. And unless there's a safety car, he'll be sticking around in last place for a long, long time. There's still many laps to go. Short laps means a lot of them. 36 to be precise. I think on the minimap I saw Daniel going defensive for a little bit. Whoa, Ivan Santamaria is really close to Tony's back. He's letting him know. I mean, you can stick behind OP if you like. But when I see a gap, I'm gonna go for it. NLR needs those points. As Unai spins out in turn 10. Not a good day for Unai Bega. Marcel Pabst right behind Raymond de Niet. According to the timing board, it's got a... Whoa, dear me, it looks like Marcel's gone way too wide into turn 10 and past goes Nathan Samba. Up into 8th he goes once again. He lost out to Marcel a few laps ago. He's back in front and still within DRS range of Raymond de Niet. And Magic looks like he's actually connected to the top 9 now. His battery, though, is screaming for relief. Look at this. Romain Deschmay is simply going back past. He's not giving up. 30 lap old softs and he overtakes Katainen back into 12th place. And he's still got DRS to Thomas. Who is 1.3 seconds behind Magic. And he's looking good. The rear lights though are flashing, meaning the battery is at less than 10%. And at the front of the field, OP team is still controlling it. They have it all under control. Towing one another along, making sure Tony Richet can't get past, but I think strategy is going to be key. If Tony Richet can somehow undercut them or maybe even overcut them during the pit stops, that's going to be huge for the Ferrari. He's got nobody to cooperate with, of course, unless he's somehow able to cooperate with Ivan. And yeah, Gottschalk moving out of the slipstream to make sure he doesn't overtake Louis. He actually wants Louis to stay ahead, but he made a mistake out of turn 1. Is that going to be the opportunity that Tony Richer needs? No, it isn't. Not yet. But he is definitely under pressure. He's under pressure to make sure his team remains at 1-2. And at the same time, making sure that Tony Richer stays behind. So, he wants to stay in second place. No more nor less. But that is a dangerous place to be in, because Tony Richet's got no interest in keeping Team OP in first and second. So he's gonna go for it. But they all remain patient right now. One wonders, when is he gonna go for it? I think, as I said before, the pit stops are going to be playing a crucial role in this. The top 10, all within a second of one another. From Louis to Magic. And whoa! Nathan decides to go for an early pit stop. Less than half the race done on those hards. He's going for a big undercut. That means he'll have to take care of these medium tires until the end of the race. There he goes. He's going to have a lot of clear air though. Making sure he can make up a lot of ground. Potentially, this could be great news for him. He was well within range of the rest of the top 10. If everybody else decides to pit much later, we might see Nathan go into the lead. But then he has to keep them all behind with older medium tires. That might be a challenge and a half. George Chalkley also going in for a pit stop. Swapping out his hards, which he had already placed on his car earlier in this race, back to the mediums. And he'll be praying for a safety car. Which car in the top 10 is going to bail out next? Neither of the OP cars is going to do it. Looks like nobody else is going to either. Is Magic having DRS? No, he isn't. He's lost the connection to the group, and that might be bad news for him. We see 2 cars going in then. Thomas Fink, Romain Deschmay, both going for a pit stop. Romain now onto the medium tires. He's gone soft medium, which is impressive. He's been doing a great job at it. And he's gone in quite early. Of course he had to, because his soft tires were dead, but he was still within DRS range of the cars ahead. And Thomas Vink still ahead of him. Now they're on equal tires. Now let's see the pace difference between Thomas and Romain. Going to be interesting watching that. Magic back within DRS range of the now top 8. The group is slowly starting to thin out. Drivers are coming in one way or another. Nathan is still out there. He's probably pushing hard at the moment. 15th, 2.7 seconds behind Jorge Suarez in 14th. Victor Zatala is incredibly close to Tony Richer. And the next one to bail out is Victor Santana going for a pit stop there. Not going to be much of a big undercut, I'm afraid, though, but it could be a potentially race-winning move. Justin Chevalier then overtaking Thylum for what is now 9th position. It's been taking a while. Justin Arts is now behind the Williams. We see many things happening at the moment already. Look at that. Nathan Samba is ahead of Victor. He set the fastest lap of the race. His undercut is working perfectly, and I'm sure everybody has seen that timer coming up for Nathan's name, going fastest of them all. And I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out as a race leader now. A brilliant job from Nathan so far. We'll see how this is going to unfold. Louis is pushing now. Leaving Daniel behind a little bit, still within DRS range though. Making sure he helps his teammate, but he's pushing hard. He knows that his race lead is under threat from Nathan. Nathan, though, is now stuck behind a Mercedes on old hard tires. He's going to have to get past quickly, but Jorge is defending. He knows his teammate is behind. If he can keep Nathan behind, that means Victor Santana is going to close the gap very rapidly. Look at this. Jorge Soares sacrificing himself to make sure this teammate closes the gap, and closing it is, look at that, 1.9 and quickly going down. What is Jorge Soares going to do? He's keeping on moving, and it looks like Louis Valentin is in. Is Nathan going to claim the lead of the race? Yes, he is. He's also ahead of Jorge Soares, and Nathan is now on paper the net race leader. The undercut has worked. Jorge Soares has done everything to defend. Beautiful teamwork once again from the FFC team. I tip my hat to them. And now he could try and hold up Louis Valentin, who was the net race leader. No longer though. Not only can he help out his teammate Victor by holding up Louis, he's also going to help out Nathan if he keeps it up like this. Already Jorge is outside DRS range. Louis is already on his rear. Can he do something in turn 10? No, he can't. Jorge Soares will not have DRS. He's holding up Louis. But he's already side by side, and I'm sure he's not going to hold up his teammate there. But look at that. Louis Valentin is now got Victor Santana right behind him. Daniel Gottschalk coming in as well. Tony Richet, look at this. This is unusual. An overtake happening in the pit lane. I've never seen that before. But it's just happened. Tony Richet on AI power overtook him, and it's safety car. Why is there a safety car? Where did that come from? Raymond, Justin and Kuthailem will be celebrating big time. This is very unusual. What has happened? 20 laps in. And the most strange safety car I've ever seen is Ivan now gets a 5-second penalty for colliding with Luke. Everybody, of course, is allowed to overtake it. But this has changed everything. I have no clue why there's a safety car. I think many drivers right now will be fuming, especially those who just came in. Raymond, Justin and Kuthailem will be absolutely delighted. And it's also a blessing for those who were far behind the field. They can close back in now if the safety car stays out for long enough. Look at that, Unai Vega immediately going in for a change of tires. Some hope for the WR team, who are currently very far behind in points. Uh-oh, Daniel getting a penalty as well. As absolute chaos everywhere, sorry. Daniel Gottschalk is right here. And there goes Raymond. Can he keep the race lead from here? Medium tires, there he goes. Justin Chevalier, Kuthailem, all in. Safety car in this lap. What is going on? The safety car is going in! There's nobody behind it! And the safety car... Well, I think the game has just gone glitchy big time. The safety car is still officially in. Nathan Samba is still the race leader. Raymond has gone up to 5th place. Kuthailem is still lost out, and it looks like the race is actually back underway. There's no more safety car, although it's still on the track. I wonder how that's going to work out. Istvan Tamashi, there you go. Where's the safety? Is it going in? Thankfully it is, but it has absolutely changed so many things in this race. Dearie, dearie me. Chaos has unfolded. Nobody knows what on earth is going on. Nathan is now the race leader. Tony Richet in 3rd. Where's the second OP driver? He's down to 14th place. OP is in the mud. Thanks to the mishaps of the game. Oh dear, they had a beautiful opportunity to claim the lead. There are still yellow flags going on, according to the boards at least. Can they overtake? They can't. I think the game is screwed. There's now yellow flags everywhere. I think Alex Fair spun out. It's completely bugged. The race is broken. The race has broken down officially. Now the big question is, what will happen now? Because we just can't have a normal race, can we? Things always have to happen. There were some beautiful strategies, some beautiful undercuts incoming, and then of course the game decides to mess up. Now let's see how the boards are doing. There's no more yellow flags. Is the racing officially back underway then, I wonder? I think it is, but I'm just as confused as you guys are. I've got no clue what's going on. Let me have a quick look in the driver's chat. There's no messages going on there, since everybody is now racing properly. DRS, of course, has yet to be enabled, but this has completely turned up the race for so many of the drivers. Look at Daniel, for example. You want to switch to softs due to the safety car and then go for a beautiful overtaking race. But he's now in 14th and 14 seconds behind the rest, or at least behind Jorge Suarez, who in his turn is 6.5 seconds behind the next car. We're all three in a group 4 seconds behind the top 9. It's very bad news for them. But at least these guys are racing. Nathan is the race leader. He's got Louis Valentin behind. And it appears Louis is much faster. Unai Bega is the car ahead. George Chalkley has already been lapped. And yes, we can confirm the race is running. So we'll just keep it going like this then. Alex Fair is retired. He thinks there's no more point in continuing on. And if I cut it correctly, then we should see the DRS being enabled right here. There we go. So let's see how things will turn out. It has worked out best for Raymond. No, he touches Victor Santana, who apparently had a bad exit out of turn 2. And down he goes. Raymond up to 4th place. What on earth happened there? Tony Richet in the meanwhile putting Louis Valentin under pressure big time. Louis no longer got the protection of his teammate. The Alpine team has been torn apart by bugs. And Nathan is under pressure from the cars behind. Can he keep them behind though? That's the big one we want to ask. Louis is on a rampage. He'll be furious with what happened tonight. But the race continues. Onto the main straight we go. DRS full open. Louis is going to go for a move. You can count on that one. He's not got his teammate in front. In fact, Nathan might lose 2 positions in turn 1 right now. He goes wide a little bit. Goes wheel to wheel with Tony Richet. He's still side by side as they go into turn 2, but he has to yield. Otherwise, we may see a repeat between what happened to Raymond and Victor. Luke Mills in 5th place, trying to get closer to Raymond. Victor Santana now down to 9th. We have another yellow flag. George Chalkley spinning out. Daniel Gottschalk in the meanwhile is fighting with Ivan for 14th and 15th. And now we have a proper safety car. And I think that's the only fair way to get this race back underway. If this safety car is going to stay out as it should be, then the field can catch back up, and it's going to be a blessing for many drivers. Louis is back in the lead. Tony Richet now in 2nd place, thanks to the bugs being on his side. Let's see what everybody does. And they're all going in. No, Tony Richet isn't going in. Nor is Magic. Can Spark, Team Spark, pull off something miraculous? His teammate is out. And he is still growing strong. He will be in 2nd place. And he is in 2nd place. Thomas Vink has decided to continue on as well. Looks like the rest has decided to put on soft tires. It's going to be chaos until the end of the race. Unai Bega has been lucky. He can overtake the safety car, potentially get back on the same lap. We see George Chalkley getting a 5-second penalty. Speeding in the pit lane won't make much of a difference for him though. He's still a lap behind. He will not be allowed to overtake the safety car, so it will not do much good for him. In fact, he might even be overtaken by the car who is technically ahead of him. He'll be lapped, that's what I'm trying to say here. Let's see then, we'll soon have about 10 or 9 laps remaining if the safety car decides to not go glitchy this time round. And it's staying out, so that's good news. This what was supposed to happen a few laps ago. Now I wonder who is going to come back. Let's see how things are. Right now, Team LP in 4th and 14th as they were 1 and 2 before the glitches started. Tony Richet is once again the race leader. He might potentially win his 3rd in a row, but he's not come in. Magic is in 2nd, he's been brilliant all race. And it looks like Luke, for some reason, is pitting again. Not sure why. I think he wants to have the freshest tires of the race, but he'll be very, very, very far down the field. He'll be behind Jorge Soares down in 13th. Oh, he's got a front wing damage there, so no wonder. Very unfortunate for Team GRS then. This is going to be huge for the standings. This is absolutely huge. GRS now in 11th and 15th. Normally they were able to avoid trouble and being consistent. This time though, not very lucky at all. Team ETE has come in as well. Roman and Istvan. Unai Bega in the pit lane too. He's nearly caught up to the field. This is going to be a fascinating end to the race. 3 cars in the top 3, all 3 of them not having pitted during this second or technically first proper safety car. Thomas is going to be most vulnerable. Louis Valentin on paper the best chances of winning the race right now. The soft tires won't have dropped off by much by the time the race ends. Lap 28, which means at best we'll have 9 laps of racing remaining. Put your bets in the chat, by the way. Let's see who will win this race. Looks like Unai Bega is going to be in time to catch up to the field. Maybe WR can claw back some points. Justin Arts back in 9th. Despite all the chaos, I think he'll be quite happy he's there. I think those on the soft tires are now best off. Louis especially, Nathan and Raymond as well. P7, the first car with fresh mediums, Marcel Pabst. I wonder if those mediums by the end of the race will be quicker than those softs. We'll find out as the safety car is coming in right now. Tony will be leading the field on older mediums. Thomas will be especially vulnerable, but it might be a blessing in disguise for Tony and Magic as they got slightly fresher tires. But Louis, Nathan and Raymond are going to be very quick the first few laps. And off we go. No, not yet actually. Tony is waiting a little bit longer. Of course the safety car isn't properly in. Still going slow. Louis is very eager to get going, and Tony is going now. And immediately, Louis is already side by side. Everybody is side by side. Front wings flying left, right, and center. And into turn 1 we go. It's absolute mayhem between every single car on the track right now. Let's see who comes out unharmed. Tony Richet, of course, will love the chaos. Louis Valentine now back up to third. Thomas already on the threat from several cars behind. Nathan Samba is trying to get past. He can't do it though. Looks like Raymond Denit is losing out badly. Nathan as well. As now Victor Santana. Can he claw something back despite being spinned out by the Haas, who is already overtaken? Victor Santana now up to 6th, and we have another virtual safety car due to all of the chaos being ensued, which means racing will be neutralized for another tiny bit. The chaos is complete. Magic has survived the first assault. He's still on the podium. What can he do? Tony Richet still leading. Louis Valentine is ready to attack, and it's a full-on safety car once again. If Tony pits now, he'll be behind in last place. What will he do? I don't think he will have enough laps to claim back the lead, and wisely decides to stay out. Magic also wisely decides to stay out. It's a strange race right here. 4 drivers have come in. Ivan, I think at least one of them has lost part of their front wing due to the restart, which was absolute carnage. Five laps, I think, will remain when the safety car comes in again. Romain Desmays decides to retire in the pit lane. Only Istvan Tamashi is remaining for Team ETE. Oh dearie me, what's going on here then? Nathan Samba is losing positions all of a sudden. Back up to 7th though. This is not the restart he would have liked, but he's got another shot. He's definitely got another shot. 5 laps remain when the safety car comes back in. I'm quite sure of that one. Justin, Ivan and Yunai have gone in for fresh softs. So that means they'll have the best tires in this race. Will something happen with that? That's the question. The field is back together. The GS team suddenly finds themselves in 4th and 6th position. The FFC team is not doing too bad either. They're now back in P5 and P10. So, after all the chaos and carnage that happens, the Mercedes cars are not doing too bad, and they might score some decent points here. But the big question, of course, is can Tony keep behind Louis? Louis has been very fast through qualifying, very fast in the race, leading Daniel all the way until the first round of pit stops. After Daniel led the way for the first few laps of the race, he's now down in 13th by no fault of his own. Safety car is in this lap. Now there will be no more safety cars. With 5 laps remaining, I'm sure nothing like that will happen anymore. Unless everybody decides to go side by side again into turn 1. I wonder if Tony Richet is going to wait this long again. Now he's got a quick driver behind on fresh tires. I'm not saying that Spark isn't quick, But the tire difference now is much, much bigger. So he has to catch Louis Valentin napping. But Louis is on it. Look at how close he is. He's trying to find out when Tony is going to restart, and it's right now. And Louis is still quite close behind. Magic also not too far behind either. Victor Santana's gonna go for a move on Thomas in turn 1. Can he get past? Yes, he can. Back up to 4th place he goes. Nathan Samba getting past as well. We see driver spinning out. Raymond de Niet this time was got victimized, as well as Thomas Vink. Spinning out in turn 2, contact between some cars. Justin Arts making the most of the situation, going back up in 6th place. The yellow flag is still out, but no safety car. Tony Richet, look at that, trying to defend. Louis Valentin is all the way on him. Magic is keeping up the pace there. Victor Santana is closing in on the top 3 as well. Nathan Samba spinning out, he's onto the gravel as well. It's absolute chaos, and Nathan, despite doing brilliantly, is now out of the points. No, actually he's in 15th, which is just within the points. Louis Valentin having to go round the outside. Now can take the inside and is back in the lead. Once again, Tony Richet on his old mediums couldn't keep him behind. But can he get back in the main straight? There won't be any DRS yet, so he'll have to make the most of his own race pace to make sure he stays with him. In the meanwhile, Victor Santana closing and closing and closing on Magic. Can they go side by side? Yes, they can. He has to go around the outside though. Does he have enough grip to make it stick? Magic for now is ahead, or is he? He's got the inside once again in turn 3. Victor Santana up to the podium he goes, despite everything that has happened. All the bad luck he's had, he's back up in the podiums. So that is worth of a standing ovation. The question is, can he do more than that? Can he attack Tony Richet for 2nd place? The man who's got brilliant race pace is now very vulnerable in his Ferrari. Unai Bega retiring. We have... Oh, dearie me, we do have another safety car. We do have another safety car. Now that is interesting. And good news for Tony. Is anybody else going to be able to make some more of this situation? Oh dear. Unai Bega is out, he crashed. Not sure what happened. His teammate though, luckily for him, is in 5th place. Safety car, yeah, most likely going to be in next lap, so nobody's going to pit except Raymond, looks like, as well as George, who is a lap behind anyway. If Nathan is quick, he can catch back up. Maybe scrape home a point. But this is a bad day for many teams. And look at this. GRS back in 7th and 8th. Might they be able to keep the lead at the top of the table then, despite everything? They'll need a few extra positions. There's still an OP car in the lead. But he's got somebody behind him who's already won 2 races in a row. Yeah, this is a proper safety car for sure, but I don't think the drivers who are now still trying to get to it are going to be in time. We'll have 2 laps of racing. 2 laps for Louis to keep them behind. And break the series of victories for ABS. Safety car in this lap. I think George will be in time, but I'm afraid Nathan won't be. Which is bad news for him. He was doing brilliantly again. George is a lap down, but he is caught up with the rest. Plus 1 lap. So, the moment of truth for Louis. The moment of truth for Victor as well. Louis is already on his way. The safety car isn't even in the pit lane yet. There it is. It is now. The race is back underway for the last time tonight in Zandvoort. Tony Richet. He needs to do everything to reclaim the race lead, but it's going to be a very tough job because despite the 9 laps of age on Louis's tires, most of those laps were under safety car conditions. Victor Santana pressurizing the two-time race winner from ABS for second place. Magic under threat from Justin Arts. Despite everything though, 5th place would still be brilliant. Luke Mills has already gone past Marcel Pabst up into P6. Is there more on the board for GRS to save the lead of the standings here for the team in blue? Victor Santana edging closer and closer to Tony Richet. He's got only a few more opportunities to make the move and get up to second. Look at this. He's lining him up. There's going to be no DRS to assist him. It's going to be all on grip, ERS and engine power. And of course those car setups they've made. Is he going to go for it? It looks like Justin is going to go for it on Magic into turn 1. He's going to have to go around the outside. And Tony Richet keeps the position. And Justin does get past Magic as he had the room on the inside. Whereas Victor didn't. Tony knows he wants to keep the position at all costs. His teammate is in 11th. And Louis is gone. 1.8 seconds. And look at this. Victor is giving him all the run for his money. He's not going to give up. His light is flashing, but he is going to try everything in his power to claim second position. The more points for FFC, the better. They will need this. 3rd place, already a brilliant place for the team to be. Can he make a dive on the inside? No, he can't. A good exit then, perhaps for Victor Santana. No, that's not a good enough exit, I'm afraid. In fact, Justin Arts has actually had a better one, but the move here in turn 11 is not an easy one to make. So he has to stay behind, and it looks like Tony Richet can at least keep second position unless the drag race to the line is going to be the deciding factor. But for now at least, Louis Valentin is the race winner for Team OP. Tony Richet holds on to second. Victor comes home in third. Well done to him. Justin Arts in P4. Magic with a brilliant result in P5. Luke Mills saving some face for GRS in P6. Marcel Pabst in 7th. Rethylum brilliantly done in P8. Ivan Santamaria unlucky in P9. Justin Chevalier after starting last up into the top 10. Daniel Gottschalk will be fuming in 11th. Raymond de Niet in P12. The rest we'll see in a moment. Driver of the day, Justin Chevalier. Let's see what you guys think on who should be driver of the day after this chaos. I think it's going to be very close between Victor and Magic, because Victor got unlucky with being tapped out by Raymond. He still got third. Magic, another interesting one. 14th to 5th. Another contender for driver of the day in my eyes. If it were me, I'd pick one of these two. Victor or Magic. Absolutely brilliant races from them. Let's see how the rest looks from the 13th and down. 14th for Istvan Tamashi. Some points at least for ETE. Thomas Vink in P15 with the fast step of the race. An extra point because 15th is still worth 1 point. Nathan bad luck in P16. George 1 lap down in P17. And then from there on down, Unai Vega, Roman Dushmain and Alex Ferret retired from the race. But I think that because of all the chaos, it's probably wiser not to do it this time round. So we'll leave it at this. I'll show you the calendar before we head out. As next week we're heading to Austria. As we all know, it was Spain, but the game has changed some bumps apparently. Personally tested Spain. There doesn't seem to be a bump in the corner anymore, so I might have been fixed. But Austria it is. It always provides for some excellent racing at the Red Bull Ring. After that, there's still Qatar, Japan and Abu Dhabi as the season finale. But for sure, one thing is a fact. That the fight for the lead of the championship is still very hot. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. We'll see you next week in Austria. Until then, goodbye.